Former Alabama running back compares a Big Ten head coach to Nick Saban. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to talk about a former Alabama running back comparing his new head coach to Nick Saban. And I'm talking about Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes spent the last 2 seasons as a running back for my Alabama Crimson Tide. But after the 2024 season, he decided to transfer to Michigan. And now he's comparing Sherrone Moore to Nick Saban. First of all, Sherrone Moore's name don't belong in the same sentence or conversation as Nick Saban. Sherrone Moore's name shouldn't be nowhere near Nick Saban's name. Nowhere near it. Sherrone Moore has only been a head coach for 1 season. So how can you compare that to Nick Saban? Come on now. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But let's get into what Justice Haynes had to say in comparing these two guys. First of all, he say Sherrone Moore reminds him of a younger Nick Saban. No, he don't. Justice Haynes is only 21 years old, so how would he know what a young Nick Saban was like? 21 years ago, before Justice Haynes was even born, Nick Saban was already in his 50s. And from what we hear, Nick Saban was an asshole in every facet of the word in his younger days when it came to the game of football and coaching football. He was that in his first years at Alabama, a straight asshole. So he might have, lightened up in his later years, because guess what? The game was changing. The rules was changing. You couldn't do, or Nick Saban couldn't do in his later years what he could do in his younger years as far as the players. The way you talk to players, the way you discipline players, the way you coach players. So there's no way Sherrone Moore could remind you of Nick Saban in that fashion. Just can't happen. He goes on to say, talking about Michigan, everything is discipline oriented. How? How is it discipline oriented when you got a coach facing a 2-game suspension? How? For lying, deleting text messages when knowing the NCAA got you on the investigation. You're trying to hide something. Undisciplined. If Michigan was so disciplined, why was they caught in a cheating scandal? Why was they sending assistants on rogue missions to steal other teams' sign if they were so disciplined? Why was Jim Harbaugh suspended for about 4 or 5 games in 2023? Why does he and a couple of your other coaches that's not there anymore have a show cause against them if they ever wanted to return to college football? Why? Why is Michigan waiting on punishment from the NCAA if they were so disciplined? Come on, man. Come on now. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. But anyway, he also said that Michigan, they train harder or they train differently than anybody in the country, and they work harder than anybody in the country. Maybe at cheating, but anything else, no. You know why? It ain't showing on the football field that you work harder than anybody else, that you train differently than anybody else. If you look at the product on the field, I don't care that Michigan beat Alabama in a bowl game. Okay? Maybe that's why Justice Haynes saying that, because he was on that Alabama team that lost to Michigan in a bowl game. So maybe that's why he's saying that. I don't know. But I know it ain't true. I know it ain't true. Michigan fans, I would say, is still living off national championships from the 1940s. From before they invented freaking football helmets, when they were still wearing steel cleats. They living off those national championships. You got 1.5 since then. 1.5. The half is 1997 when you had the Sherrone national championship. And the one, 2023, you cheated to get. Everybody knows this. Michigan fans won't admit it, but they know it too. But Justice Haynes, you wrong as hell. All right. He goes on to say that Michigan is all about running the ball and stopping the run. That's what they pride themselves in. Okay? And that's what ultimately led to his decision to transfer to Michigan. Well, let's face it. When they're talking about stopping the run, it's easy to stop the run when you got the opposing team's plays. You got the opposing team's offensive plays, so it's easy to stop the run. You got their signals. You know exactly what they gonna do. Cause I ain't gonna say you scouted them. You robbed them of their plays in ways that you are not allowed to do by the NCAA. So it should be easy to stop the run. Okay? And you're predicated on running the ball. Maybe they are. My thing is, if you were so predicated on running the ball, why did Michigan have to go out and pay $12 million for a freaking quarterback, Bryce Underwood? If you were so predicated in running the ball, I'm sure you ain't paying Bryce Underwood $12 million to hand the ball off. I think he'll be throwing it more than he'll be handing it off. Okay? So, hey, it is what it is, man. He said that Michigan, he knew that they was going to value the running back position. And he know that he can thrive in their offense. How can you thrive in their offense when they went and paid a quarterback $12 million? They giving him that before he even take a snap for the Michigan Wolverines. But that's okay. I digress from that. Now, in that, I take away that he's saying that Alabama didn't value the running back position. And I can understand why he said that. Being that we had a quarterback like Jalen Milroe, a running quarterback, and last year, Jalen Milroe had more rushing attempts and rushing yards than our running backs. So I can understand why he's saying they didn't value the running backs, okay? But Justice Haynes, you was there 2 years. I know you was a freshman in 2023, but you had a running back ahead of you that goes by the name of Roydell Williams. He was there in 2023 as the number 1 back, and you was number 2. Last season, it was just clear that Jam Miller was the better back. Jam Miller ran harder than you. That's why Jam Miller had more attempts and yards than you did, Justice Haynes. So it's not that Alabama just didn't value you. You had a guy in front of you that was just better, and you had a running quarterback. A high quality running quarterback at that. So, maybe you was a little disgruntled at the amount of carries that you was getting or the amount of attempts you was getting. That's why you left. But hey, it be that way sometime. I wish you the best at Michigan. I wish you the best. But to compare Sherrone Moore to Nick Saban is absolutely crazy. You should know better. You should know better than to do that. Oh, my goodness. Last season, Justice Haynes, 79 carries, 448 yards. And yeah, I like Justice Haynes as a running back. But the fact of the matter is, He just wasn't that guy in 2024. He might be for the Michigan Wolverines. I won't doubt it, because I think he's a great running back. He can be a great running back. We'll see what he do in the Big Ten, because there's some tough teams in the Big Ten. Okay, you got which you will play Ohio State. So a few other pretty good teams over there. All right, but Ohio State going to be a test. Michigan beat Ohio State for what, the last 4 or 5 years straight. So that's going to be a big game, man. Ohio State going to want their get back, man. I can tell you that right now. But Justice Haynes, don't you never compare Sherrone Moore to Nick Saban ever a damn again. He don't belong in that conversation. He's only been a head coach 1 year. He ain't did nothing yet. Now, he might wind up being a great head coach, but as of right now, don't ever compare him to Nick Saban. In no way, shape, form, or fashion. Don't put his name in the same sentence as my coach or my former coach, the greatest college football coach of all time, Nick Saban. Okay? So just want to get that out there. But I wish you the best at Michigan, Justice Haynes, okay? So do what you do. Don't get caught up in no cheating scandals. That's all I got to say. But y'all be blessed. Remember, KB don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, and roll damn Tide.